At this speed, you won't feel a thing. Out like a light.
Hello, World Wide Web. I'm Dr. Shado, the internet personality with the best hair. And in honor of, with the upcoming, do we even really need an excuse to enjoy a zombie flick? It's been a beat since I've covered one of those, so there's no harm in going back to 2013 to dig up Zombie Hunter, a good old-fashioned indie zombie flick, first revealed in the 2013 Fantasia International Film Festival in Montreal. It's a zombie movie! I know I'm supposed to give a quick rundown of the concept first before giving a deeper dive into the synopsis, but when you're dealing with this genre, how many ways can you say dead people are walking around and the budget wasn't all that impressive? So, synopsis time! In Zombie Hunter, we follow Hunter, who is a hunter of zombies. World's fallen apart, but when he encounters a small group of survivors, a chance at a better life seems within reach. But even closer are hordes of zombies! And how well did they pull it off? Well, this is on IMDb's list of best zombie movies, as well as the list of worst movies so far. So, let's take a look at Zombie Hunter and see which one it earned. We open up shortly before the zombie apocalypse. What caused people to start shuffling about, eating each other? Simple. They're doing drugs! A new crazy high called Natus, which looks like they're shooting up with Pepto-Bismol. Side note, don't do drugs at all, let alone something that's stupid. We see Dollar Store Alistair here taking his friend's girlfriend upstairs for some drug-fueled conversations. But that shit in his veins leads him to instead begin to cannibalize the woman.
The known side effects of Natus include vomiting, hallucinations, and violent outbursts. The long-term symptoms of this poison are still unknown.
Could it be zombification? I have a strong feeling that it's zombification. As such, we suddenly zip ahead 1 year later, introducing us to our titular zombie hunter, Hunter, played by Martin Copping. He's living the post-zombie apocalypse life people dream of, driving a muscle car, swigging tequila, and having intrusive thoughts.
150 miles per hour. At this speed, you won't feel a thing.
So all it's gonna take for most of us to be as cool as him is a fast car and some tequila. He stops himself, though. Besides, he's found another zombie helping to clean up the roadkill. He doesn't appreciate Hunter interrupting his work, so Hunter splatters him all over the windshield. But what's this? The check engine light is on. What could be wrong this time? Mowing down the undead in your apocalypse mobile sounds fun, until you realize the bodies are kinda dense. Then, of course, there's the need for gas, which somehow in the zombie apocalypse not only can you still find it at gas stations, but the idea of stale gas isn't even brought up. Fuck it, it's probably still good, but what isn't good are those strange noises in the convenience store.
Most of them are brainless globs of walking matter with one objective: eat.
Not to be confused with the strange sound effects associated with firearms in this movie. What did he shoot? A double-barreled 12-gauge shotgun. A 9mm brass hitting the floor should work. What do you mean they don't automatically eject? After this, he does battle with the zombies, chopping one's head off before watching the other blow its brains out. He gets his shotty back and gets to work on the rest of them. That is a break-action shotgun, not a pump-action shotgun. If you wanted the man to pump a double-barrel shotgun that bad, you should have gave him a DP-12. And he continues pumping the break-action shotgun. I know a lot of you think I'm being too heartless about this, but come on, there's a reason the double-barrel shotgun is the classic apocalypse weapon. Number one, looks cool. Number two, it's very powerful. Number three, simple mechanism means it's very reliable in an age where if your gun breaks down, you really can't get a new one. So it helps if you're going to show it, you get it right. In any case, he got his kills, his gas, and his tequila. He's also had about 6 months since the last time he's seen anyone walking around who wasn't interested in eating his brains. So nothing to do in this wild apocalypse but drive around and think about that family you used to have until BAM! He gets shot in the chest and crashes his car! Don't worry though, just means he can get hauled out to that group of survivors. First and foremost, meeting Debbie, played by Jade Regier.
You shot me.
No, why would I go and do a crazy thing like that? No, that's not how that shot you.
It's Lyle whose character traits are he's a fuck-up and a danger to those around him. Debbie here, she's always on top of things. Debbie explains that they're part of this whole group of survivors totaling 6. 7 now if you count Hunter, and Debbie is certainly counting on Hunter.
I brought you some, sorry. I guess I should have knocked.
Which of course means this is competition going on between the very in-your-face Debbie and the more reserved Allison, played by Claire Niederhuyen. Which is a lot closer competition than you might think, as Hunter doesn't want to be fed, he wants to hunt. Anyway, Allison gets to preparing food for him, and Debbie can see her wicked ways. She knows that Allison is simply throwing herself at the man just as soon as he arrives. Shameful! He hasn't even had the chance to be properly introduced to everyone yet, such as Jerry, played by Terry Guthrie, and of course...
Jesus!
Father Jesus, played by Danny Trejo. The one man I wouldn't be surprised to actually find still walking around if we suffered a real zombie apocalypse. Jesus doesn't know how Hunter survived out there, but he knows the man must be tough and could be dangerous, because he has also survived out there on his own, and only by being the most ruthless, dangerous thing around. While these assholes seem to be surviving on pure luck. Lyle, played by Jake Suazo, and Allison's little brother Ricky, played by Jason K. Wixom. That's all of them, so Hunter shows up for dinner and exposition. Seems Lyle shot him because he thought he was a zombie, driving a muscle car. A car that's now Lyle's responsibility to get back. Hunter says they head out at the crack of dawn, together, to get her.
I don't get up before noon.
That's actually kind of surprising in a post-apocalyptic scenario. What the hell do you stay up all night doing? Watching broken TV?
So, stranger, what's your name?
I don't have a name. Not anymore.
Yeah, well, you're credited as Hunter, so that's good enough for me. They're like, how's the wife and kid? And he's like, dead. So that kind of spoils the mood, so they talk about how they've survived. Luck mostly, but Jesus is a bit concerned that it could be running out soon, as the horde tends to notice them the longer they hold up somewhere, and they've been at this spot for quite a while already. Thing is, they kinda got stuck last time they tried to move on. Got an airfield to the south, but between here and there is a little town called Dalmer. You wouldn't believe it, but it's full of psychotic cannibal raiders.
When they ran out of food, they started hunting the flesh eaters. The contaminated meat drove them mad.
Remember, always cook your meat to an internal temperature of at least 165 degrees Fahrenheit. Unable to deal with Dalmer, they all decided to say fuck it and leave, and have been here ever since. Close to the airfield, to uninhabited islands of safety, but also dangerously close to death. But hey, it's something beyond basic survival to keep the plot interesting. But lest we forget, we got that car to pick up, but oh yeah, Lyle might have undersold exactly how much damage the thing took in the crash.
You may need to order a few parts.
Honestly, it's only been a year since the zombie apocalypse kicked off. It shouldn't be that hard to find vehicles yet, just saying. But his shotgun has no shells! Ah, well, toss the whole thing, I guess. But what's this? His family photo is missing! That's because some zombie bastards have it, resulting in a zombie brawl! One that Lyle manages to stay conveniently out of. But Hunter doesn't need him anyway, tearing into his adversaries. Pepto-Bismol flies all over the place! Now that that's over with, it's time to loot the place. Get the picture back, grab some tequila, and one of those guns he still has ammo for, I guess. And the fucking tyrant? When the hell did he show up? Ah, well, I don't know about that. It's just a return to base and stories of badass zombie killing amidst drunken celebration of a scene well done. Debbie hasn't given up on her dreams yet, firing up some tunes and getting on the pole, doing one semi-impressive maneuver before stopping to just kinda do the shake your ass while in public transit dance. But lest we forget, Hunter wants to hunt, leaving this overt seduction to instead approach Allison. They intend to converse. A kind of intense intellectual discussion you can only do in bed in a horizontal position with nothing but your boots to keep you warm. Hello, oh god, I see you're busy there, like the video, subscribe, there's links in the description to buy the movie or support me on Patreon, so yeah, bye. Once their conversation has concluded, Lyle is doing what he does best, taking advantage of the situation. He realizes that Debbie wanted to have that chat with Hunter and is distraught to be turned down. But don't worry, he's here to be the rebound guy. Weirdly, she does actually agree to this. Seems even more surprising than Lyle over here.
I've been wanting to do this a long time. I don't even want to take my boots off.
That seems to be how it's done in these parts. But the Eaters interrupt! Wouldn't you know it? That limited time they had to avoid the horde, well, it just ran out, and Lyle is the first to go. The chaos ensues as more and more attack, alerting everyone as the Eaters are everywhere. Even the tyrant shows up, and everyone panics. Except for Jesus. He just does what he's good at, kicking all the asses and taking all the names. Everyone else hops into the truck that Jerry was working on getting to work, and it fortunately works, while Jesus takes on the tyrant one-on-one. He chops off its arm and tears into its guts.
Get your heart!
But look at the effects on that thing. That was a clear indication that it was going to win. I mean, come on. You can't give me CGI effects that shitty and expect me to believe that you actually had enough money to keep Danny Trejo around for more scenes. The monster does fall to the wounds, though, so Jesus still won, post-mortem. Anyway, would you look at that? The truck works just fine. Now they gotta figure out what to do. Considering the conveniently established airbase to the south, and the fact that we really didn't establish anything else, it kind of narrows it down. But you know what that means.
We're not talking about going back to Dalmer, right? What other choice do we have?
I mean, north, east, west. We haven't exactly established anything good in any of those directions, but we haven't established anything bad either. So it's off to Dalmer. Might not be so bad. It's been a while, so the cannibals might have all just evaporated or something. Driving through, they don't encounter anyone, but there's still one big problem they got.
Any luck?
Nope. Dry as a bone.
They're out of gas! Man, you'd think with them having been in the area for 3 months, scavenging everything around while working on that car, they might have tried to get some kind of stockpile of gasoline going, but it's more fun to just see what's in the tank and roll with it.
Hey, do you think there's any food in there? I'm starving.
I mean, they did establish that the Dalmer residents resorted to cannibalism after all the food ran out, so based on the lore, no, but this movie doesn't look like it really cares about details that much, so probably. Unfortunately for them, all they find is a freezer full of horrifyingly mutilated dead body. So let's just prioritize our visit and get the hell out of here. Need gas and a car. The thing up and disappeared on them. So Hunter goes a-hunting, while Debbie goes off from the group to relieve herself. As the camera follows her, we've got two options. One, the director was kinky as hell. Two, she's about to be attacked by a chainsaw-wielding maniac in clown makeup. Funny Man, played by Jeff Kirkham. She tries to hide from him, but is run through by the chainsaw anyway. And yeah, she finds the time to fix her hair while being horribly murdered, but, you know, if I was in her position, I'd do the same. With her dead, Funny Man attacks the rest of the group, so they must run. You know, it's intense because the camera just won't stop shaking. It's so disorienting they can't quite escape, and Allison is slashed by a chainsaw. This could spell her doom. And I don't know how many clowns they can fit in a car, but they're certainly working on figuring out how many can go under one. Hunter found the truck, and for his next trick, he's going to saw Funny Man in half.
Hey, what the hell's going on over there?
And don't worry about Jerry. During that whole running away from a maniac scene, he was hiding conveniently just out of frame. So let's just assume they managed to find gas at some point and let them hit the road again. It's still quite a drive to the airfield, so it's time for more exposition. Let's dig into Hunter's sordid past. Remember that drug that caused a zombie outbreak? Well, he took it! Just once, though, after a night of heavy drinking with friends. It's what fucked him up so bad he never made it back home to his family that night, and by the time he returned, he found them dead, half-eaten, splattered about the house with what remained of the decorations celebrating his birthday.
That's the first time I saw a flesh eater.
Maybe not the best of parties, but you can't say you weren't surprised. So now all he has left to live for is to kill all zombies.
So what are you gonna do when they're all gone? When you wake up one day and you realize there's no more demons left to burn.
I don't know. Shrooms? Anyway, we're getting off topic. They made it to the airfield. Only a couple of problems. 1, the airplane needs gas. 2, the pilot is being eaten. That's because 3, there are zombies everywhere. And 4, everyone just kind of feels like watching instead of doing anything about it. That is until Hunter is attacked, so they rush to the hangar for cover. And they have another tyrant kicking around. Man, don't you hate it when a boss just becomes a normal enemy? Fortunately, as this was a military base, there's plenty of military gear for them to deck themselves out with. Allison grabs the SMG, Hunter a shotgun, and Ricky takes a rifle. Oh, actually, that's not a good look. Yeah, you know what? Let's not do that. So the plan is to mow down the horde, the very modest, low-budget horde, and get back to the truck. Yeah, we're just gonna forget about the airplane at this point. Cessnas are just so damn confusing, you know? So they fire away and take out the zombies and most of the tyrants. But oh darn it, one of them manages to jam its claws through Hunter. But just because he has to go down doesn't mean he can't still take the thing out. Pulling out a grenade, they blow the fuck up, along with the airplane. So, by the end of it all, the only remaining survivors are Allison and Ricky.
Hey, Allison, do you think we're gonna make it?
Yeah, Ricky. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, easy. Just as long as you ignore the mountain of things out there trying to kill you. Let's face it, you weren't nearly as badass as Hunter, and is he still standing?
How I was still breathing, I don't know. It was a curse.
Oh, yes, he is. How? I'm gonna go ahead and assume that when he took the zombie drug, it gave him at least mild zombie powers. Most effectively and apparent, the can't die part.
If you want to get the job done, you gotta do it yourself.
Or not. The end. That was Zombie Hunter. So we ain't getting a sequel, are we? This was a fun enough movie for what it was. Zombie Hunter is your standard indie zombie flick, in so much as it has zombies, they operate how you know they always do, they have their own special name for them, and we get our standard survivors, psychos, and monster variants to fill out the running time. For better or worse, Zombie Hunter also shies away from one aspect that is common in indie zombie flicks, and that is trying desperately to be something profound. Oh, don't get me wrong, there are deep dives into Hunter's backstory, but it's never presented as being any more important than it is. The movie doesn't try to be artsy-fartsy about anything. It's a flick about dead people eating people being fought off with shotguns and chainsaws. That's the direction the specific flavor of Zombie Hunter has chosen to lean. To that end, the film has style, a nice cohesive high-energy thread that connects it all, and contrasts with the dirty and run-down remains of the world it inhabits. So the visuals and the soundtrack work. Mostly. The zombies themselves don't look particularly impressive, and the less said about the CGI thing, the better. Danny Trejo also gave a good performance, and was the highlight of the acting for the film, but most of the actors, well, it wasn't great, but it wasn't too annoying either. The lower quality acting came off as having a sort of campy charm to it, much like the lower quality zombie makeup. As it stands, though, Zombie Hunter's strength lies not in its low budget, but in its style, which is hurt by its lower quality aspects. It's not a bad film, but it also ain't for people who aren't already fans of indie zombie horror, coming in at 2 bottles of tequila out of 5. I mean, I liked it, but I'm also glad I only paid $5 for it. Thank you all for watching. I've been Decker Shado. And remember, if you actually want gasoline during a zombie apocalypse scenario, you're gonna have to get some refineries running at the very least.
He saved all of our asses. He was like a damn ninja turtle.
And before you go, believe it or not, this is not the first zombie apocalypse fueled by drugs movie I've ever reviewed. We've also got Zombex over there. That's got Ian Holm as the big name that they paid a good amount of money for. And if you're feeling more like a zombie yourself, you can always just go for whatever the algorithm says.